It is time for that update on my eyeshadow palette roulette declutter, but it's also time for homemade ice cream sandwiches. I can tell you I'm more excited about one than the other, but let's go ahead and get into the video. All right, you guys, last week we randomized these palettes right here, and I can tell you there is a clear winner. In fact, there is such a clear winner that I'm not even going to keep you in suspense. And that winner is going to be the Tarte Rainforest Temptations ING palette, and this is what that looks like. So this is the first palette that I used in this round of palettes, and it was fantastic. It really, really was. I love this blush. And in fact, every day this week, I have used this blush. I'm wearing it today. I love this blush. That alone means that this is a winner and staying in my collection. If you guys don't know, I've decluttered my collection down where I have no single blushes. All of my blushes are in face palettes that I have kept, and that keeps my choices down to a minimum, but I don't have one that is this color. So I am super excited for that. Not to mention the versatility of this palette. I loved every look I did with this palette. Let's see here, I did a bold look, I did a soft look, I did a 10-minute makeup look. The look I have on my face today is the one from this palette as well. I used every shade in this palette. There is not a color combination that I threw together that I was like, oh, not that one. Let's see here. Today I have on this shade right here and this shade right here in the crease. I have boa down here, mostly on the lid, and then I put this one right here on the inner corner and kind of topped a boa with that one, and then I lined my lower lash with the After Dark, and this is the look that I came up with. Absolutely, this palette is staying in my collection. In fact, I am kind of hesitant to use any other palette. This is just gorgeous. Loved everything about it. So that leaves the two palettes that I am decluttering, and the first one is going to be the Catrice Cozy Earth palette. Now, while I did appreciate the look that I did with this palette, I ended up using every shade except for this one right here to create that look, and that's just too much. I don't have time for that, and it was very annoying to use this palette, especially because I used this one first, and then I was like, oh, I'm going to use this palette. And you know, this palette would have been great. I'm wearing a green shirt today, but I just didn't want to fuss with it. Like, I don't have time for that. I have ice cream sandwiches waiting for me, okay? So this one is going to be decluttered, and like I said, it's a pretty palette and you can get a look from it. It just takes too much time and effort, and I'm not about that life. Now this palette here was kind of a little bit, I gotta say it was a little bit heartbreaking that this made it into this round, because I think if this palette would have made it into a round of any other palettes, I would have kept this because it is a gorgeous palette, and I did appreciate the look that I did with this, and it stayed on my eyes all day. It had no fading problems. I didn't have any eye irritations with it, so it's still a good palette. It's just, this is so much better, you guys. This is so much better. So this one is going to be decluttered as well. And that's kind of the reason that I am randomizing. Let me put that down before I drop a palette. So if you guys don't know, I've been dropping palettes every week. But that is one of the reasons I'm doing this, is I'm budding up 3 palettes that are good, that I like, that I didn't want to declutter, up to each other to see what I reach for, what I'm looking for. I'm sorry about my dog snoring in the background, but that's besides the point. But yeah, I am trying to figure out what I'm reaching for, what I really, really want in my collection. So in this case, while this is good, and I probably would have used it, I reached for this palette 4 times. Today is the 4th time I'm wearing this palette. So obviously a clear winner in what I'm looking for and what I am reaching for. So with all that being said, let us go ahead and randomize another palette, and we're kind of going to do it this way here. And it's loud. So the first one is going to be the Pat McGrath Labs Bordeaux Bliss, which is that one right there. The next one is going to be the Live to Rome right there. And the last one for this week is going to be the Morphe Truth or Bear. Let me go ahead and grab those palettes. Okay, you guys, so the first one is going to be the Pat McGrath Labs Bordeaux Bliss palette, and it's one of her small 9-pan palettes, and this is that one right there. Okay, to be honest with you, I kind of want to declutter this right now, but in the spirit of this, I'm not going to. I'm going to try to create a look with this. It just seems a little dark for what I want to go for right now, but I'm still going to give it a try. So we have that one. We have the Morphe Truth or Bear, and it's one of these right here. And I actually really like this palette. This is a gorgeous, just neutral palette. You have some soft pinks, you have some purples, you have, of course, all your neutral browns that you want right there. So I'm actually really excited about this one. I like to travel with this one because it does have that big mirror on the top of it. Beautiful palette there. And the last one is going to be the Chic Glam Live to Roam. And the reason that I love this one is because this is an all matte palette except for this one shimmer shade right there. And for this palette here, I love to create an all matte look and just tap that on the lid to give it a little bit of a sparkle, a little bit of a shine, you know, a little bit of something extra. But also I just like to use this palette to create all matte looks because it is a gorgeous, just brown palette and it's very easy to travel with. So those are going to be the 3 that are in this week's palette declutter. And let's see which one of those I am going to keep. But that is all I have for you guys today. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, go ahead and give it a thumbs up and, you know, go ahead and subscribe if you want to keep up with this palette roulette declutter, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.